Welcome to Hard Hats and Horizons, the podcast where we dig deep into the construction and economic developments shaping the future of Dallas-Fort Worth. We bring you insights from industry leaders and visionaries who are driving growth in North Texas. From construction projects to industry trends and insights, we cover it all. So grab your hard hat and join us as we explore the people and projects shaping the skyline of DFW. Now, here is your host, Andrea Pender.
Well, thank you for coming today to the Hard Hats and Horizons podcast. We are really excited to get this going. And today we have Natalie Phelps. She is with Mansfield, Texas Economic Development, and she is a project manager there. I've known Natalie for a few years now. We overlap in several women's networking groups, and she has a lot of career highlights. We will get into a lot of those. Most recently, she won the Mansfield 40 Under 40 Award. So I definitely want to hear a little bit more about that. So thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you, Andrea. It's a pleasure to be on this podcast. I look forward to working with you more. It has been quite a few years. You hosted just a networking group way back when in iWire, and it was a small group, so it's amazing to watch your growth too on the amount of women that you are inspiring to do better in the commercial real estate industry, especially being dominated by males.
It is. And it's nice when you can make those connections and then you realize, gosh, we've known each other for years. Like, how did that happen? It felt like it was last week.
I know. It's the craziest thing ever. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you could come on. Why don't you start us off with telling us just kind of your background and how you landed at Mansfield?
So actually, I'm originally from California, so moved to Texas probably in the mid-90s. My father worked for General Motors, so that was why we relocated, and never thought I would be working in Mansfield. I would have much rather gone back to California, but Texas is great. I love being here. I've grown up. It's home. And so when I was going through finishing high school and going through college, I wanted to be an attorney, and I just got really bored with school and didn't. It's like, no, I need to go out there and work. And so I started selling real estate. I ended up going through paralegal school, so I did that and couldn't find a job in the legal field. And so I ended up working for a vet close to home, and it was the best experience. I loved working for him. Sold real estate on the side. Also did a few odd jobs here and there just because I like to stay busy. And with real estate being so commission-based and hectic schedule, I was just like, I need something that's going to be stable and provide a check every week. And so I applied for, of all things, 911 dispatch for the city of Mansfield.
Wow.
And it was not for me. So I lasted 6 months, ended up taking a position with their records division. So I managed the police records. And then a position with economic development came up. And I was like, I don't really know much about it, but let's check it out and I'll apply. And turns out having real estate and having legal backgrounds, that all plays a part. I get to work with amazing people. And so it's been an incredible journey, and it's not one that I would have wrote down in my 5 or 10 year plan. So it's been an exciting time, and I love getting to work with a different group of people. Being inspired by other women, really just connecting and learning about all the different industries that make a community thrive. And so it's an exciting time to be in development.
It is, and it's always interesting to hear everybody's story because I feel like it's few and far between the people who are like, I was 7 years old and I knew I wanted to do XYZ. So it's interesting. I mean, I probably didn't know that there was such a position as an economic development person until I got into the industry. So, yeah.
Most people don't know. And I mean, with economic development, we're out there recruiting, we're attracting new companies, we're helping our current companies grow. So it's really a wide range of a lot of different duties. So you get to work with different companies, and you've got one that's a tool manufacturer. So you need to know tools, you need to know food processing, you need to know retail, residential. So it just covers a vast industry list, and commercial real estate and residential. So knowing all of the different features that you would want in your city, that's what we've got to plan for.
I remember we talked about that years ago because we were talking about different project types, and then you were like, no, I have to know more about it. And just coming from the, construction side of things, it's like, gosh, I never thought about. You actually really need to know what they need. You don't just, here's the great location and building. You have to know more than that.
Yes, you have to know, how much water your city has available, how much electricity. So right now, data centers are really popular. They're coming to Texas, and we're working with our partners in the electrical industry to make sure that we can power these data centers. Technology is just advancing. And what does that power look like for the next 10, 20 years? So knowing those industries, whenever I go to a trade show, I go in there learning so much from all the people that I talk to, because you could never know what it takes to manufacture a cup or a straw. And so these are the industry professionals. And I'm like, hey, tell me about your company. What can I do to help you? How can you grow? Do you need workers? Do your workers want the quality of life? Because they want to be able to go out and go grab lunch at lunchtime, go have dinner, be able to shop, run errands after work. And so it really just encompasses so much that people just don't realize.
We have a data center in Mansfield right now, so we're excited to have some projects with you down there.
You'll have to let me know when you're in town. We'll come have lunch.
Okay. We can do that.
And that one's going up so quickly.
Yes, it is. It is, and then just more keep coming, which is awesome. Okay, so where did you get started, and how did you get to Mansfield?
So I think getting started in economic development, again, just applying for a position, I realized with police records, that was it. I don't want to be a police officer. Bless them. Thankful for them. But I just wanted something different in economic development. There was a variety of things that I could do. I started out as an admin and learning our board, learning the companies, the contracts, getting back into that field really helped me as I'm moving in my career field now. I was negotiating deals with my director and sitting in the room saying, hey, what does it take to bring you here? Now I'm more in charge of telling the story of Mansfield and saying, hey, here's what Mansfield is doing. How can we help you? What kind of work do you want to do in Mansfield? And with all the development going on, there's opportunity for everyone to keep working. And if you're looking for a new place to live, we've got some great projects that we're working on. And so just starting out from the bottom and coming up here, I look back and I'm thinking, gosh, I really have come a long way. When I had a short time in Midlothian economic development for about a year and a half. And that's when I was traveling to trade shows and learning about manufacturing more. And that's kind of when I really learned the power of people and LinkedIn and just connection. And I think that's where I gained that confidence to say, hey, you know what? Like, we're all figuring this out. As long as I know somebody that can help me, hey, this company wants painting, I can call Andrea and you'll take care of them. And just building those connections one block at a time has helped me. And I look back and think, gosh, that all made sense getting to this point.
Yep. You took some sort of program, class, that was pretty intense.
Yes.
And it's been a couple years ago. Remind me what that was.
So that's OUEDI. Oklahoma University has an Economic Development Institute is what this stands for. And it's really just geared towards people in development, mostly economic development professionals. And you have to be in the industry for so many years. You have to complete all these courses. And there's a timeline you have to get everything completed. And oddly enough, I started with just a professional development course online. Here, I got to get this done to mark that box that I've done it. And when I went to Midlothian, I was like, okay, well, we need to move forward with that. And I did. And I understood, okay, if I don't complete this, I'm missing out. Because I need to grow. I want to learn more. And so doing that and completing that has really just helped me understand, number one, hey, I do know what I'm doing. I understand the procedures and the legalities of economic development, which is a whole nother side of things. But but really just getting those other professionals, again, the people connection. We're we're meeting people from across the country and even across the world. One of the ladies was from Puerto Rico, and so learning from them how they're doing things has helped me. Hey, what kind of strategies should we implement here? We're not doing it this way, but why not? What could we do? And taking those ideas. So, yeah, I graduated, I think it was last fall in Florida. So it was just great professional development. I highly recommend continuing education in any field you're in.
Yeah, we actually just had our company quarterly meeting this morning, and that's one of our initiatives. We're hoping everybody signs up for 2 professional development classes each quarter. So what is it? Is it an hour-long class that Texo offers? Is it a 6-week program someplace? But I feel like if you're not growing, you're not going anywhere. I feel like there's a phrase that goes with that, but I feel like we always need to be learning more.
Do you need reliable, high-quality service for your commercial project? Choose Carrco, the most trusted contractor in commercial painting, drywall, and floor coatings in DFW. With over 30 years of experience, Carrco delivers top-tier craftsmanship across Texas. From expert painting and seamless drywall and durable floor coatings, we handle it all, on time and on budget. Transform your space with the professionals at Carrco. Visit carcopainting.com today. Carrco, where quality meets reliability.
Even having the support of your company and your directors, having people that realize that you have to grow to make the company better.
Right.
And when you don't have that support, it makes it a little harder. And so
it is, and it's interesting, like at some of my women's networking things, I've heard, oh, well, my boss won't let me go to this. And I'm like, oh, like I hate to hear that, because you're wanting to better yourself and get the company's name out there. So I think when there are companies that are supportive of those things with your time and their money, resources, it just shows that they're great firms to work with.
It's the return on investment.
Yep.
Huge.
Yeah. What are some key moments or challenges that you have had in your career or in your life?
Yeah, I think we all kind of go through life just in general where we lose people we really love. We maybe don't have the support of a boss or a leadership or a mentor. During my career, being in real estate 2006, 2008, best time to be in real estate, right? But just having more of that cutthroat around me, those were the people that I was just like, we don't want you to help us or we can't help you because that's taking money out of my bank. And so I never really had that mentor or leader that I could say, hey, I'm really faced with a challenge. My dad was one of those where you could do anything you want to, and you will do whatever you want to. And so having that as my foundation really set that where I don't need validation from anybody. I'll figure it out. If you don't want to help me, we'll just maybe a little harder. And so I think that's probably been the most challenge that I've encountered, was just not having that strong support. My mom was a hard worker, always worked her whole life. But just not having a strong woman to say, hey, you can do this.
So do you think this is why you're leading the Ladies in CRE group, so you can be that woman that people can look up to or go to with questions and things?
I think I just like to help people. And I saw a need that there were so many women in the South Metroplex. And it's always hard to get out to Dallas or Fort Worth. It's time and day and traffic. And so I was like, why don't we do something down south? And ironically enough, I met with Lisa, one of the ladies that helps me with that group, and she said, "Oh, I have the board members for Ladies in CRE. Let's see if they'll let us tag along." And thankfully they did. But I was like, well, if they don't, I'm gonna just do my own thing.
Right.
And so thankfully we'll celebrate a year next month.
Oh, nice.
It'll be 1 year in May.
Nice.
And I really didn't think anybody was going to come.
Your group is great. Every month I see the pictures and I'm like, oh, I wish I lived closer because I would go to it. It's always such a good. I know, it's so hard. Just like you can't always make mine, and yours is on Monday morning, and so that's tough for like Monday morning meetings and all that. But you're getting such a great turnout. So,
and we have some amazing industries represented, from bankers, brokers. We've got our developers, and so just having that vast variety And I don't know that, back to your question about why I want to lead that group, I don't know that that's it. I think it's just realizing that there was a need, solving that problem. And then I just love people and I love helping. And so I don't really need the recognition. I just want to create a space where people are comfortable, and I'm really good with people. And so it just worked out, thankfully. So
Well, and so many times, I have had people say, "Oh, so how many bids or how many jobs or whatever did you get from that meeting?" And it's like, that's not really the purpose of it. It's the building the relationship, the trust, and being able to be a connector.
yeah,
Because we aren't leaving these networking meetings with, pricing to give to a client. That's not how networking works.
no.
But in the long run, hopefully it's all going to come back to us, and then we have the people in our circle where if we need to reach out to them, we have them.
Like you said, the connections, the amount of people that have said, "Hey, I thought of so and so when I was talking to you. You need to meet with them." That's really, I think, what it's all about. I don't know that there's ever a meeting where it's, "Oh, that wasn't a good meeting."
No, right.
You professionally, personally, you're going to run into somebody that knows someone, or like, it's such a small world. Things come back. And so
Yep.
it's great to be able to have those connections. And with my position, it's a little different than business development or an industry or private company, because we we can't refer people. We can't recommend. And so for us, it's really just making those connections and saying, "Hey, I know Andrea will pick up the phone when I call her." Or, they're going to do a great job. And if not, I can tell her, "Hey, they weren't happy. Can you fix it?"
Right.
And so I think having that relationship is really what it's all about.
Yeah.
And one of the I just left a networking group this morning, and it was a great event. It was local businesses, they're growing, they're doing amazing things. And so it was so inspiring to be in the room to hear their stories
Nice.
and learn from them. But then at the end, they were like, "Okay, well, I referred so and so to so and so." And that's very heartwarming. But for me, I was like, "Oh wait, I can't
participate."
Yes. And so I thought, well, maybe this isn't the right group for me because I can't do that.
Right.
But if we can be a resource, I'd love
Count
it.
you in.
Yeah. So again, your leadership has really just helped me with my confidence. It's like, "Hey, we can do this. We can
Good.
pivot if we
I
want
love it.
to."
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
What are some things that have motivated you or lessons that you've learned along the way?
Oh, I learn lessons every day.
Don't we all?
Really, I've got two daughters, and they are my main motivation.
How old are they?
7 and 11.
Okay.
And so they keep me on my toes. They keep me busy. And I help my husband with their basketball team. They both play basketball. And so we have a team, 6th graders and 2nd graders. And those girls too, like, learning from them is amazing. Hearing their stories, hearing the, middle school drama. I'm like, "Don't worry about that, because it's not gonna matter in a few years later."
Yes.
So trying to just
Middle school.
remind them. Yeah.
I'm just glad you're not there anymore.
Thank God. But yeah, my kids are why I do this every day.
Nice.
I want them to know they can do anything too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so we kind of talked on mentorship, that you maybe didn't get the kind of support you were hoping for. Have you had any good mentorship experiences?
I've been asked to be a mentor.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait, no, I need to be a mentee. And so I think just surrounding myself with women like you and like the Ladies in CRE crew, all the different organizations, you really just are put in a position, whether you like it or not, to either be a leader and help and embrace it, or just step back and let everything else happen. And so if I can inspire someone else, that's great. That's icing on the cake. But for the most part, I just want to help people.
Yeah. So I think it was 2 years ago, Crew Dallas had a mentorship program, and I signed up for it because I was like, I'm happy to learn something. And I walk in, and all of the other girls were like 20. I mean, literally fresh out of college. And they're like, "Andrea, are you signed up to be the mentor?" And I was like, "No, I signed up to be the protege." And they're like, "Why?" And I said, "Because there's always something else that you can learn."
Yes.
And Vicky with Republic Title was my mentor. So I never knew her, and so she was assigned as my mentor. And so once a month month we would meet, and I have just gained so much knowledge from her. And at the end of the year, I was secretly hoping we could continue, but I'm like, I know she's busy. And at our last meeting in December, she goes, "Hey, can we continue this?" And I was like, "Oh, thank goodness!" And so I still meet with her once a month
That's
because
great.
there's always something that you can learn, and it's nice just to have somebody to bounce some ideas off of,
Exactly. Exactly. We need that human connection.
And I have a girl that I'm mentoring this year.
Awesome.
And really, I just she comes to me with questions or, hey, what would you do in this situation? And so I'm kind of just the sounding board or just to listen. Like sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you, So,
Yeah. And I bet you're learning so much from them.
so much. And I'm like, just like Vicky, like, can we continue this
Yes.
forever? Because I get
That's
something
great.
out of this every month.
And that's what, like, even these kids, I keep telling them, gosh, you're so smart. I'm learning so much from you. There's, like you said, you can never stop learning. So that's awesome. I love hearing that story.
Yeah. What are some highlights or something unique or surprising in your journey that has been inspiring for you?
I think the 40 under 40.
Talk to me about this.
It was something that I didn't even know was a thing. I mean, I know 40 under 40, those are great, great accolades. Never did I imagine that I would be nominated and then actually win the award. So this was the first time that the Mansfield Business Alliance has done the 40 under 40. They were a newly created organization. And I had a friend of a friend, again, connections. She came up to me at a ribbon cutting and she's like, I have a question to ask you. And I said, oh, what's up? Just how can I help you? Or what's going on with our friend? And she's like, I want to nominate you for 40 under 40. And I remember telling her, oh, not me. You don't want to nominate me. And she's like, no, you're doing a lot and you should be recognized. And so it was a really humbling experience because being in government, again, no referrals, we're always in the background. When you see projects coming online, those are projects we've worked years ago. And so now we're on the next 40 years. And so to me, I'm like, oh, I don't need the recognition. And she was like, no, I'm doing it. And I thought, okay, well, let's embrace it. And, going to the ceremony and growing up in Mansfield and seeing like, we are changing our community and we're changing it for the good. And so I think I've just finally come into acceptance now. Just at crew acknowledged, and one of the other crew members, she has grown up or kind of lived in Mansfield a long time too and doing amazing things in our community. So to be a part of that first group has been very humbling, and it's been very just, okay, you're doing great. Keep up the good work. And
people are recognizing it. So that shows that whatever you're doing, it's working.
Yes. And my mom, this personal.
Oh, I love it.
My mom will always say, gosh, you got to slow down. You're always so busy. And just this morning, I told her, I said, Mom, this is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about going and learning at the school and, just continuing to work hard because that's me. That's my name out there. And if I don't do a good job, nobody's going to do it for me but me. And so it's not exhausting. I'm not tired. I love, working all day and then going and coaching the girls.
I love it.
Trying to catch up on housework or laundry, and Lord knows that's piling up. But we'll take care of that later. So just, finding your passion and really loving it, I think it just shows, and then it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like you're doing extra. And that's why I was like, I don't deserve the 40 under 40, but
you do.
I do, I guess.
Congratulations on it. That's awesome. Yes. Okay, so talking about some like industry insights, what is your perspective on some industry trends or maybe specific challenges that you have faced? Like what's going on in Mansfield? What do you see coming up? All that type of thing.
So we've got a lot of key projects coming in that are going to transform our community. Everyone in the area is kind of, oh, we don't want multifamily, we don't want apartments, we don't want this. But once you understand the larger picture, we have to have people. People want to be together. They want to go out to dinner and hang out and be in spaces where they can spend, time and their money. And so being able to create those spaces has been great. My daughter, when we were just in Austin last month, she said, "Mom, I would love to move down here because we can walk and run and hang out because you can go to the restaurants, you can take your dog to the vet, you can go to the park, all
Walk
with your
around the lake."
kids." Yes. And so Mansfield has been strategic in saying, hey, we only have a little bit of land left. Here's what we want for our community. Let's make it unique. Let's make it a destination. So we have a professional soccer stadium coming.
Yes.
It's going to be mixed use development too. So again, a place to create memories for your family and friends. We've got a canal system with our new city hall.
Oh, that's neat.
That's coming. The stadium, backtrack real quick, that's got to be open by 2026. So we're hoping to get that going before April because the World Cup is coming to Texas.
Yep.
And so we want to make sure that our community is part of that as well. The canals with City Hall. Again, that's a tight timeline that we've got to be in our new City Hall by January of 2027.
Okay.
So you'll see dirt moving there. We actually just sold land for a movie production.
Oh, that's exciting.
So you'll see
movie stars.
Yeah. Mini Hollywood in Mansfield. So we're really excited for that. Mixed use development is huge in Mansfield. So again, creating space where people can come and just hang out for hours and entertainment, dining, shopping, really just elevating that experience to make it remarkable.
And interesting that your daughter, which one? With the 7-year-old?
The oldest. Yeah, both of them.
Interesting that they notice this as a child, because sometimes as grown-ups, you're like, you just know, okay, I have to drive everywhere. This is what I do. But how interesting for them to like really recognize this and say, I want this,
Well, and I mean, that goes to show that what we're doing now is going to pay off in 20 years when she's looking for a job or a house and
maybe she wants to stay and not move to the place that
so
I know. Yeah.
Thankfully Austin's not that far, but I won't let her go like that.
But still it's a big drive to get down there.
Gosh.
And it's interesting. We just got back from vacation and everything was walkable where we were at. I mean, obviously it was vacation, so it's not a permanent spot, but we could take a walk on the trail. We could walk to lunch. We could walk to the grocery store. We didn't have to get in the car unless we wanted to go sightseeing.
Yeah.
So
to that point, I mean, Texas development has always been, oh, well, it's too hot. Nobody's going to walk. We're very independent because we like our cars. We want to drive. And it's hot. Like, nobody wants to walk in 100-degree weather. But we really do. We're going to. And we need to. And so creating that space to where you can live, work, and play and be that community. And our council and I've even gone on these trips where we've traveled to other parts of the country. Hey, we like this about Kentucky. We like this about San Diego. We like this about Georgia. Let's bring those elements together to create a space that everyone loves.
That's neat.
And, it hasn't been done here, but we're going to try.
But we can see if it works. Yeah. And it probably will work. We just haven't done it yet.
Yes, exactly. And Austin's doing it. So there's something right, even in the heat.
Even in the heat. Years ago, my old office was pretty close to some restaurants. I say pretty close because it was a good 15-minute walk. And I actually timed it. And it took me more time to get my car out of the parking garage, drive to the spot, park in that parking garage, and then walk to the restaurant. All within my air conditioner still had not cooled off.
Yes.
And so I thought, and it was shaded, this entire little sidewalk. And I thought, I'm going to walk and see, like, will I be business appropriate still? Or will I be a sweaty mess? And I mean, I was just as sweaty from getting in my car and the AC not cooling off as I was on this walk. So I would try to schedule meetings, lunch meetings in this little spot because it took less time to get there and I could get out and it was hot, but it was some fresh air that you could get out and enjoy.
Exercise. I mean, that's still exercise. So that's
Yep.
great.
Yep. Is there any sort of advice for any of the people watching or listening for similar fields?
I think just no matter what room you're in, and if you don't have the confidence, you're there for a reason. And I'm not a believer in fake it till you make it. I don't like that. I think admitting, hey, I don't know about this, or let me find out. Like just being honest, being genuine, and being you. There's a reason why you're there. There's a reason why you're having those conversations. And I think really being genuine is what is the best thing you can do for yourself. Having faith and confidence in being yourself.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, there's a time where you just have to say, "Hey, I don't know the answer to this, but I can find the answer for you," and if you're being genuine, you're comfortable enough to be able to say those things. And then you end up growing,
Yeah. Can't know it all.
Yeah, that's interesting. What is something that you're super passionate about in your job, and what are some of your future goals?
I love helping people, and I think I probably said that too many times. Seeing other people succeed is great. I love that. I like cheering them on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great to say, hey, you're doing it this way. But again, being genuine and doing it your own way, that's what makes it unique. And that's why people are successful, is because they have that vision. Hey, I'm going to do this. And okay. And it works out for them because it's supposed to. And, just really embracing that, I think, it's hard to do that. And I'm just learning now to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a long time. One of my goals, I think, because I've been with the city for so long, I can retire after 20 years.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of looking at that future of what does retirement look like.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so it's interesting because we've talked and I've got a patent that's pending.
Yes, that's on my list that I was like, I can't wait to hear more about this.
So that's one of my goals. And that's been in the works for probably, it's 25 now. So over 20 years.
Whoa.
Actually, probably when I became a mom.
Okay.
It was a thing that I created when my first was like a little toddler running around. And so kind of fast forward, that kind of went on the back burner because you're a mom and you don't know what you're doing. And again, kind of not having the confidence, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So fast forward to 2020, COVID, my daughter's having her birthday party and it's the drive-through, like, birthday parades. And you order a sign company, and I looked at the lady setting up and I was like, I can do that. So I did a little research and I said, oh, okay, I'm going to start a sign business and I'm going to do this. My husband and my dad were both like, you're crazy. And it was literally, I started that business so I can figure out, okay, with my patent, with my product that I want to create, can I even do this? Am I strong enough? And am I smart enough to do it? And I mean, we've been going strong for 5 years now in our sign business. And it's not something that we really like promote or anything. It's just, it's a fun thing to celebrate people. Again, birthdays and graduation celebrations. And so that's really what got me to the patent. And I just filed the LLC and moving forward with the prototype. And again, it's taken me forever, but one day, so hopefully by the time I retire, we'll have, a couple companies.
Nice. I obviously know nothing about this. So like, what's the next step? Like, so you're going to do the prototype and what's like the timeline on this?
With the patent and, government, it takes a while. And so I don't really know when that patent will be approved, if it will be approved.
Okay.
So my attorney has filed that process. And again, I probably should have asked more questions, but I don't even know what questions to ask.
Right. You don't do that every day.
No.
Let me file another one today.
And I mean, it's so weird because you work with companies all the time, but you really, until you're physically doing it, it's like, oh crap, what do I do? What's the next step? So my next step is finding a prototype company. Actually, I need to do a CAD file. So that's my next step, is a CAD file.
Okay.
Then we can create the prototype. And I'm such a DIYer. I'm like, I can figure out a CAD program. We got AI now. I can just type that up. And so I finally had to say, okay, you need to let go, let somebody else do it. And I think that's my challenge too, is I like to do everything myself and control it. And so once we manufacture it, who knows? Who knows what that's
Okay, well, I'm super excited about this. We'll have to have you back, like when everything is up and running, and so we know what the secret thing is.
We may need you to paint the walls of our business one day.
That's what I like to hear.
You never know. I never planned to be here today and doing what I'm doing, so I don't know what.
That's cool.
10 years it's gonna be.
That's really neat. That's fun. What's the biggest struggle that you guys are facing, you personally or the city of Mansfield? What are you guys struggling with right now, and how are you trying to tackle that?
I think really right now with the city is we've got a lot of key projects coming in, and they're big projects. I mean, you talk about 100 acres and mixed use development. it's a lot to do, and it's not something that's going to go up overnight. So people, once you get the press release, hey, here, this company is coming, they want it up and shopping the next day.
Right.
And it takes a little bit of time. And so just managing those expectations and then making sure the developers and the people are doing what they can to get it developed. And even, you know, even on the city side, there's challenges working with a city because we have to make sure plans are approved correctly, and if they're not, what changes and how does that affect that development. And so I think that's probably the biggest challenge right now is we've got some great projects coming online, but everybody's just so anxious to have that.
We want it yesterday.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's cool that you guys have so many things. I feel like when we moved to Texas back in, when did we move here? 2008. I mean, I never heard Mansfield. And now it's in everyday conversation. Everybody knows where it's at. Everybody knows of a couple projects going up there. So yeah, you guys are rocking and rolling out there.
I'd like to hear that.
Okay, so moving on to some kind of, I know we've been interspersing quite a bit of personal stuff, but let's ask a few more kind of fun questions. Like, what are some of your hobbies outside of work?
So I love anything outdoors. Actually, I love to travel, and thankfully with work, I get to travel to new places. If we have a free weekend, I'll tell the girls like, "Hey, we're all going to go on a day trip, and we'll just go find some random place and check out that city." So I love doing that and being spontaneous. Gardening, I love that. Cooking, I love to eat, so love to cook.
Nice.
And I love to clean and organize, so it's kind of my OCD. And again, I think that's that power where I'm like, okay, if you're doing it, you're doing it wrong, so I need to do it. So that's kind of, that's my hobby.
Nice.
Working too much.
What is a defining moment or a philosophy that you live by?
I think having my dad tell me that you can do whatever you want.
I love that.
Has been key. And again, with the sign business, it was one of those things where I was like, I don't know if I can do it. But I literally was purchasing the signs, got a website up, and all doing it myself. So learning as I go each step. And I'm clearly not a professional web designer at all. And I had a client already booked and paid before I had our signs.
Oh my gosh.
And so him and my dad and my husband were both like,
here we go.
I don't know if it's going to work out, Natalie. And so thankfully everything came in. It was great. Looking back, I even emailed the client. I said, hey, we didn't do a great job. We'll take care of it for free next time. So,
and they probably were like, no, it was fine. Like,
yes, they loved it. They loved it. And so really just doing what you want. Follow your dreams.
Nice. I like that. Who or what inspires you the most?
I think I take that from everyone. And I hate to say my kids again, but my family. They keep me going. They keep me moving. The ladies groups, I mean, they are just such a breath of fresh air. And I get to learn and realize like, okay, I'm struggling, but we're all kind of in that same boat and we're going through it together. And so just having that support and having somebody that I can lean on or just say, hey, you're doing a great job. You may think you're struggling, but no, you're not. You're killing it. So keep going.
Yes. The women's group, the Ladies Interior group that I host, I mean, that's my favorite thing every month. Like I look, and I know it's like people have said, well, but it's your group. And I'm like, well, sure, I host it here. But if it's just me, that's not the group. It's the 25 ladies that show up, every month. That I just love it.
It's a feeling you can't really describe until you experience that, because attending a group, it's a different experience. But hosting and being the lead, it's like, gosh, you guys are depending on me to make this happen. And if I don't do it, then who's going to do it kind of thing. So it really is. It's something you can't imagine and can't describe to other people. So I understand where you're coming from, and I love that you have that same experience.
Yeah. You said you can't put a word to it. I think it's satisfying, kind of in a weird way. It's very satisfying. Like, A, there's ladies that are here. B, there's ladies that are getting something out of it. There's so many things. I know, like on my social media posts, I've really kind of started to like dive into what are these ladies groups all about? And the LinkedIn posts are very long, but it's like this person got introduced to this person and now they're doing business in Mansfield, you know, or whatever the situation is. It's nice to kind of tell the story on LinkedIn on what really is going on in these groups.
I can't tell you how many people are like, oh, I went to Andrea's group, and all of a sudden
we have a lot of overlap.
Yes, like it's great to hear that, like just again the connection and the relationship, and oh well, so and so. There's a lady that I met at a NetCar event years ago, and I mean she'll email me every day. Hey, so and so is. And she's never attended our groups, never nothing. It's just that one brief interaction. And, you know, I'm meeting so many people just based on her. And I'm like, okay, we need to get our schedules aligned so we can get together to have coffee or lunch one day soon.
That's awesome.
It makes a difference.
Okay, so we have some quick fire questions. What is the last book you read?
It was What Got You Here Won't Get You There.
I think I've heard about this book. I don't think I've read it.
It's really good. Again, until you start changing your habits, you're not going to change what got you here won't get you there. Yeah. So you really have to change your habits in order to be maybe where you don't want to go, if that makes sense. Like you have to keep changing. It was a great book. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
So
I'll add it. I'll put the link in the show notes.
And I'm like all the leadership books. That's kind of my forte. Or personal growth. Okay. So I just picked up today. Our city manager is very big on that, and so he has just a library and you grab a book.
Oh, nice.
And I just got. Is it the 12-week year?
Oh, that. Never heard of this. So
it's like cramming everything you want to do in a year in 12 weeks. So I'll let you know.
Okay, we're going to maximize our time over here. Yes. What is your favorite quote?
Anything's possible.
Ooh, I like that. Nice.
I heard one yesterday that I really liked too at the crew luncheon, and it was be a disruptor. Be a disruptor. Because if things are good, you're not going to change. And you got to disrupt them.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a good one.
What is a skill you would like to learn?
I want to learn how to fly.
Oh, like a plane or a helicopter?
You know, I don't know. I was just thinking getting my pilot's license. I think that would be so cool. I grew up flying my whole life, and I think
because somebody in your family is a pilot.
Yes. Okay. So we've got a lot of pilots in our family, and
little planes are like we're flying Southwest and American.
Yeah. So my niece is an American Airlines pilot, so she flies for American.
That's exciting.
Our nanny was a flight attendant growing up. I was going to be a flight attendant, and that didn't happen because I wanted to travel the world. And so, my sister's got a a aerospace company, and then her children all fly.
That's cool.
And growing up, her husband had a plane, and so we just hop in the plane and go travel and go see things. And a helicopter would be, I've never been in a helicopter.
We just did a helicopter ride on vacation. Oh. And it was doorless. And so
you panic.
It was pretty cool because like I was looking at the scenery, but then I was watching him have to do everything because you know like it's your legs and there is a lot involved in it. I have a good friend of mine who's a pilot for Alaska Airlines or Alaskan Airlines. And so it's always interesting hearing like her stories and how it all works out and her scheduling. Yes. I think she gets her schedule on like the 20th of the following month. So we can't ever make plans. And then she'll send me, here's a screenshot of when I'm available. So we'll be able to go grab a coffee or something. Yeah. But she loves it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want to add later.
Okay, that's cool. I'll hold you to that at some point in time. What is the favorite city you have visited?
Yeah, I have to probably say Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay.
It's one you don't think of, and we visited just Memorial Day weekend. Real quick, went out with some friends. It was probably the most walkable city I've ever been to. My youngest was probably 4 or 5 at the time, so little. And I was a little worried, like, oh, we'd probably need a stroller. But she walked the entire way.
Nice.
I mean, miles and miles of walking throughout the community. They've got one of the best aquariums.
Oh.
It's beautiful there, the landscape. They've got mountains, the river. They have Ruby Falls, which is the largest indoor waterfall in a cave.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. I mean, until you go in there and see it. So Chattanooga is
Okay.
probably one of my favorite little cities you just never think of.
That's neat.
History, the future.
We have a big map at our house, and if we go to, like, I kind of make it a to-do list.
Yeah.
We're like, we have to go to this state, and so after we go, then, like, we take a selfie, and then we cut it out and stick it on the map. It's a very detailed process that I didn't think through the whole way, but Tennessee is one that we've driven through, but we've never stopped together and done anything at, so I'll have to, maybe we'll add this to the list.
They had the little duck boat. You can go on the river.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
I've seen
always
those.
so much fun.
Okay, cool.
Lots to do there.
What is your favorite construction project you have been a part of?
You know, I have to say, we had a cold storage warehouse, and it was one that we started from the beginning. We were recruiting, got them under construction, and it wasn't an easy process because there were a lot of challenges with the site, with the contractors, and so it was one of those projects that just we didn't know if it was going to come off the ground. And they were relocating from another community. Cold storage warehouse is kind of a specialty.
Yep.
Not everybody does it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a pretty challenging development that we were working on. And the owners were just two partners, down to earth, best owners I've ever encountered. The stories that they told me were just memorable. And I loved working with them. They made it fun.
Nice.
We toured the facility when it was done, and they're like, "Oh, we held, gosh, over 1 million turkeys for Thanksgiving one year."
Wow.
And so going in and seeing that facility was like, oh man, and it's freezing cold.
Right.
I'm not going in the deep freeze when it's like negative, but I'll just peek. And funny enough, we actually they sold their company and moved off, and I was so sad, and I moved to Midlothian at that time.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, gosh, I hope he's doing good. I hope everything's well.
Uh-huh.
And at the 40 under 40, he was at that event with a friend. And so I got to see him and check in. And so that's great. It was kind of a full circle moment.
Nice. That's cool.
So,
what is a piece of advice to someone just starting out in the industry?
That's a tough one. Probably should have thought longer on this one. I think, again, just be you. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why you're here. Be you. Embrace what your strong points are and work on those that you're not so strong. And hang in there. Like, it's a tough, real estate's hard. It's really tough. And but you find that support system and just embrace that, and embrace you, the uniqueness of your traits, and just hold tight to your support system.
Nice. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that I didn't ask you about?
I'm curious with you.
Okay.
You're very unique in finding ways to meet people. And I love that. I love that you will go on a run and go to yoga or go grab coffee. Like, what do people like to do? What are they, when they schedule a meeting, what's the number one thing that they say, hey, Andrea, we're going to go do this?
So, I mean, I do a lot of coffees and lunches. That's kind of, the boring part of it, coffees and lunches. But I would say there's a lot of people who they want to get a pedicure or they want to take a fitness class. And they get like a juice after or something. So I feel like it's kind of, I don't know if a workout is a pampering thing, but I think it's how can I get a twofer out of this? Yes. How can I have a business meeting and do something I enjoy? I think that there's a lot of people today there's a lot of people that like to golf, but there's a lot of people that don't like to golf. They don't want to golf. They don't want to learn how to do it, or they just simply don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so I always joke and say I have golf clubs, but that's about as far as we go with this. And golfing takes a lot of time. I mean, that's an easy half day out of the office, if not more, because you're hot and you're tired. And so I'm finding that these fun activities can be a 45-minute activity, and then maybe we have lunch afterwards. So it's not that much more time,
Yeah.
but they're fulfilled in it
Yes.
afterwards. So I feel like even on a walk, one of my guys in the office always jokes because he says, I remember when Andrea first started, she went on a walk with a lady, and he goes, I can't ask people on a walk. And I said, well, maybe you can. You've never done it.
That's it. And that's true. If you don't ask, they're not going to say yes.
Right.
So you never know. And I mean, if anybody from the wings, I was just telling my husband with the basketball, we have one of the UTA college players, amazing, talented young woman, and she made time to take pictures with our girls, and it just it made their
That's nice.
And she said, well, let me know when they're playing. I want to come see them.
Oh,
and my husband was like, she's not going to come. So he reached out to her, and she said, okay, I'll be there. And I said, well, tell her we want to come practice at UTA with her.
Oh, yeah.
And he thought I was crazy, and I was like, and if you don't ask, then she's not going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. And, I mean, inspiring the future generations is key, because, they can't say yes.
So I think one of the reasons why I started kind of offering a, hey, what do you want to do option, like on getting, instead of just a coffee or just a lunch. Years ago, there was a contractor that took me to one of those indoor climbing gyms.
Okay.
I don't know how to do this. And so I was like, okay, I like stuff. This is totally outside of my comfort zone. And we had to be really real with one another immediately. And so I'll never forget that. Like, oh boy, this is not something I'm good at. I have never done this. So it was kind of a humbling experience, but such a good team building experience all at the same time.
And I think you really get to know who that person is. That gives you a great opportunity to, again, be genuine, be you. And that's who people want to do business with. They don't care what the name is on the sign. They want to know who they're working with.
Right.
And having that trust. So I love that you do that. Yeah. And maybe one day I'll be brave enough to do some more fun things. And
one of the things I'm really trying to focus on this year in 2025 is being able to offer fun women's activities. So instead of like the hunting and the fishing and the golf that a lot of the men are invited to, and maybe the women just don't know how to do or don't want to participate in, how can we give back to those people that we're already working with, and and take out that team of 5 or 6 ladies in the office, like the equivalent of a golf tournament. And so I have a couple pretty cool things planned for April for the next couple weeks, and then I'm looking at working with a couple other contractors in June. But just take them out, thank them, entertain, and I've been there. I've offered anything, like we can do something crazy, we can get a pedicure, what do you want to do? But I want to thank you in the equivalent of a fishing trip or a hunting or
But I mean, I would even embrace the fishing and hunting.
Sure,
because
totally.
How amazing. You got this group of women out there doing that too. And then I was like, wait, what can we not do?
I had a lady, she goes, could we get pedicures and then go shoot guns? I said, totally, we can do that if that's what you want to do.
I will tell you, so I hosted with Midlothian Economic Development, we hosted a broker event to showcase the spec space for manufacturing in Midlothian. And we hosted it at Stone Blaine Lodge. It was Texplex.
Okay.
That I know that really well because we drive ATVs.
Oh, yeah.
And so we rented the place and we said we're going to be skeet shooting and then driving ATVs. So we tell all these Dallas brokers, hey, come in your regular clothes. Things are going to get muddy. It had just rained, kind of like today. And so the tracks were very muddy. And when everybody shows up, they're dressed to the nines. They look amazing. We maybe had 10 do the ATVs, and I will tell you, we were covered in mud from head to toe. Best experience ever.
And memorable.
Everybody loved it. Yes.
Love
and
it.
It's like, I wish more people would have engaged in the ATVs, but it's not for everybody.
There's always next time.
Yeah. And it was memorable. So I think creating those memories is great.
So in the show notes, we're going to add all sorts of information. So we will definitely put your LinkedIn on there. Yes. We'll put the Mansfield website on there. Is there anything else that you want us to put on there?
You can link the city of Mansfield because that will have resources for our incentive policies.
Okay.
what we're attracting, innovation,
Okay.
headquarters, how we can help you guys come to Texas, to Mansfield, and really just showcase our community. Um, we got, I would even do, like, as you're moving forward to, like, state and county officials,
Okay.
providing that information.
Okay.
I can get you all that.
Yeah. Get
So,
all that to me and I'll put all that in
yeah,
the show notes.
I think that'll be great. We're excited.
Okay, well, this
Thank
is
you.
it. So thank you so much for coming on. I feel like you gave a lot of really great information
I
that
hope
people
so.
will be interested in hearing about, and hopefully people start reaching out to you a little bit more.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
It's been great.
Thank you.